Hello dear listeners and welcome to today's TSF1 Greece podcast with Alex and Panos, where we will discuss everything around the Lone Star Le Mans. Good evening, Panos.
Good evening, Alex. Good evening, everyone.
So after a little break and before we have the race in Fuji this weekend, we had the other Le Mans, the American Le Mans, so to say, the 6 hours at the circuit of the Americas, which was, by the way, a very interesting race. I mean, better.
Exactly.
It was not like Le Mans interesting, but it was good. Or Sao Paulo. Okay, Sao Paulo was, hit and miss, but okay. Shall I start with the LMGT3 quali session? So, starting with the LMGT3s, we had a quick and intense 12-minute session. The LMGT3 quali session was a tight 12 minutes, with the drivers needing to warm up their tires quickly before setting their fastest laps. The cool tire temperatures posed a challenge as drivers needed multiple warm-up laps to get the tires in the optimal grip zone. Ian James led early. So Ian James from the team Heart of Racing in his Aston Martin took an early lead, clocking a 2:06.46 lap, and he was closely followed then by Sarah Bovi in the Iron Dames Lamborghini, who also put up competitive time, securing second place for a while.
So, moving on, we have the fight for the top 10. As the session progressed, drivers from Corvette and Aston Martin pushed hard to break into the top 10, which was crucial to make it into the Hyperpole session. Ben Keating in his BMW also put in a solid lap to move up into the top positions. The top 6 drivers, including Ian James and Sarah Bovi, as Alex said, and others, solidified their places early, but the battle for positions below them remained fierce. The drop zone fluctuated as lap times continued to improve. Moving on, we have Sarah Bovi's strong push. Sarah Bovi set 2 purple sectors, indicating the fastest time in those sections of the track. Her lap times were competitive enough to challenge for the pole, but just fell short, keeping her in second place at the time.
And following that, we had some last-minute improvements. More in detail, several drivers made a significant improvement towards the end of the session. Francois Perrodo in the Iron Dames Lamborghini and others managed to climb up the ranks in the final moments, securing their spots in the top 10. The final top 10 qualifiers. In the final moments, Ian James secured pole position for the LMGT3 category with a 2:05.587 lap, and Sarah Bovi held on to her second place while Francois Perrodo secured third. The session ended with the top 10 locked in for the Hyperpole, setting the stage for the next round. And with that, I think, Panos, we can move to the Hypercar quali session.
In Hypercar, instead of 12 minutes, we have 10 minutes for the battle. The Hypercar qualifying session was equally fast-paced, with only 10 minutes, as we said, for the top 10 drivers to set their fastest laps. Pit exit opened and cars immediately hit the track, looking to capitalize on the limited time available. Ferrari dominance early on. Early in the session, Ferrari showed strong form, with Antonio Giovinazzi setting the fastest times. He put up a solid lap, placing his Ferrari in a provisional pole with a 1:15.95 lap, edging out other competitors.
And dominance early on it was indeed. So we had, though, intense competition for pole. The Cadillac team, led by Alex Lynn, also delivered a stunning performance, briefly challenging Ferrari for pole. Lynn's lap time was competitive, placing him third overall. Meanwhile, Kamui Kobayashi in the Toyota was another strong contender, setting the first official flying lap. However, Ferrari's pace proved difficult to beat. I mean, saying that for Ferrari, it's like a miracle. It's a dream come true. So, but let's go to BMW and Porsche, who also showed their strength. In the midfield, BMW and Porsche fought for positions on the second and third rows. Robert Kubica managed to push his Ferrari to third after a solid lap, while Alpine and Penske Motorsport also put in strong performances.
Moving on to the final moments, Ferrari locks out front row. In the final minutes, Ferrari with the number 51 and the number 50 locked out the front row, with Giovinazzi taking pole. The Cadillac and Alpine teams secured positions on the second row. Alex Lin's Cadillac slotted into the third place, just behind the Ferraris, while BMW and Porsche rounded out the top 10. Notable qualifying results. Jenson Button encountered trouble during his lap, finishing just 11th, missing the cut for hyperpole. In the final order, Ferrari dominated the top 2 spots, while Cadillac, Alpine and Porsche filled out the remaining top 10 positions. This set us up for an exciting race with Ferrari holding a strong advantage. The final result for the hyperpole qualifying is number 51 with Antonio Giovinazzi in pole position, number 15 in second place, number 2 with the Cadillac of Alex Lin in third place, number 35 of Alpine in fourth place, Porsche Penske with the number 5 in fifth position. Number 6. Yeah, in number 6 we had BMW with the number 20, number 7 BMW with the number 12, and number 8 we had the Toyota.
So
summarizing.
Okay, if you want to summarize, you can summarize.
Okay, thank you. The qualifying session for both LMGT3 and hypercar categories were highly competitive. Ian James in the heart of racing Aston Martin took pole in the GT3 as Alex said, while Ferrari dominated the hypercar session, securing the front row for the main race. The battle between Ferrari, Cadillac and Toyota promised to be intense, with a close fight expected for the main race.
Just because of Ferrari being on first place, I need to do it, sorry. I did it in the Greek one, I had to do it here as well.
Mm-hmm.
We said we will try to make it less staged in English, which is not our first language, so we will do our best. So, moving on to the race. Let's start with the race start. Okay, yeah, that was stupid. I tried to make a better transition. Anyway, so we had a fierce battle from the get-go. The race started with Antonio Giovinazzi on pole, driving the Ferrari, while Robert Kubica closely followed in another Ferrari. Miguel Molina, meanwhile in the second Ferrari, made a bold move to take third place by the first corner. He passed the Alpine, showing early aggression that paid off, while the BMWs tried to stay in the mix. Edoardo Mortara's Lamborghini had an impressive start, coming from the back of the grid to quickly move up the field, showing strong pace and determination. Pano, did you try to say BMW previously, like we say in Greek? Okay. It was like an obvious last minute save. So, BMW. Okay, no. Jokes aside. So, we had also some other action in the early stages of the race and some incidents as well. So, as the race unfolded, Ferdinand Habsburg in the Alpine clashed with a Cadillac while trying to defend his position, resulting in the Alpine going off the track. The incident dropped Habsburg down the order and he received a penalty for his role in the contact. Frederic Makowiecki in a Porsche also benefited from the chaos, moving up the grid after the incidents involving the Alpine and Cadillac. I'm sure Panos is making all kinds of faces with me reading the name of Ferdinand Habsburg in German, and also he's definitely laughing with it's Makowiecki.
Makowiecki, okay, fine.
I'm not sure, okay, so sorry for butchering it.
It's fine. So we had some drama, of course, with multiple overtakes and intense mid-race action. So in the early phases there was a fierce battle between the Ferraris and the Toyota cars, with several position swaps and thrilling moments as driver pushed to the limits. Kamui Kobayashi, driving the Toyota, regained positions after being involved in a slight incident early in the race, showcasing his experience in racecraft. Moving on, we have, of course, as in Formula 1, pit lane strategies and penalties. During the midpoint of the race, Ferrari with number 83 came into the pits for a crucial tyre change and the pressure was on to perform flawlessly. They lost some ground to Toyota during this phase but quickly bounced back. Several penalties were handed out due to track limits, including a notable penalty for Marco Wittmann in a BMW for exceeding track boundaries. Ferrari strategy, combined with the excellent tyre management, allows them to stay...
Sorry, I just need. So, with Ferrari's what?
Strategy, and combined with excellent tyre management, they stayed competitive despite the challenges they faced.
I mean, we had to take a look twice just to make sure that this was Ferrari. Like,
Okay.
it's not a Ferrari thing in general. Anyway, so we had battles for the lead. More specifically, Ferrari and Toyota had a head-to-head duel once again. So, as the race progressed, the battle for the first place intensified. The lead swapped multiple times between Ferrari and Toyota, with both teams pushing their cars to the absolute limit. At one stage, Giovinazzi's Ferrari was involved in a contact with a McLaren, which damaged his car slightly. However, Ferrari managed to avoid significant time loss there. There was also a dramatic sequence where Toyota briefly took the lead during the pit stops, but Ferrari quickly responded and regained first place. I mean, that's Ferrari. Okay, yeah. I'm just checking, nothing to see here. So, a heart-stopping moment, the tire failure and a penalty drama. Towards the final stages of the race, a major incident occurred when Giovinazzi's Ferrari suffered a left rear tire failure. The Ferrari driver had to pit for repairs, but luckily this happened near the end of the lap, minimizing the time lost. Meanwhile, Rahel Frey in a Corvette had a close call when her car was damaged during contact with a Lamborghini. This led to a puncture and subsequent damage that threatened her race.
Moving on to the final hour and Ferrari's tight hold on victory. In the final hour, Ferrari with the number 83 managed to maintain the lead despite Toyota's relentless pressure. Robert Kubica and his teammates executed their strategy perfectly, ensuring they could fend off Toyota's challenge. With about 5 laps to go, the Ferrari were still leading, and Toyota's final attempt to catch up was thwarted by traffic and consistent defensive driving from Ferrari.
I'm sorry.
Moving on to the final lap.
The Greek one, okay? We said.
Okay, it's fine. Okay. It's fine. Moving on to the final lap drama and Ferrari sealing the win. Ferrari crossed the line first, securing a historic victory for the team. This was Ferrari's first win outside of Le Mans with a 499P car. The race also marked a special day for Aston Martin's Ian James, whose Heart of Racing team not only won in the GT category, but also secured the fastest lap and pole position.
I mean, he took everything home. Like, whatever there is in LMGT3, I'm taking it. It's out
Exactly.
there. So, looking back at the podium and the championship outlook. So, as Pano said, the Ferrari with the number 83 won the race, followed by Toyota in second place and the Ferrari number 15 third. The intense fight throughout the race reflected how evenly matched the cars were. Where is Dimitris once again to tell us about his friend Bob, or balance of performance? So the championship battle tightened with this result, as Toyota still leads the manufacturer standing, with Porsche close behind and Ferrari rising in the ranks. Some post-race reflections. I think after the race, Ferrari celebrated their second victory of the season, also following a major Formula 1 win for Charles Leclerc at Monza. The same day. So the drivers and teams reflected on how challenging the race was, especially with managing tires in the intense Texas heat. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one type of heat, not multiple. So, in Texas heat. There are 2 races left with the WEC for this season, and the momentum is building as Ferrari looks to challenge Toyota for the overall title. So now,
I'm sorry.
let's give a clap for Toyota as well. I mean, come on, give us a clap. I mean, they fought for it, they deserve it. So, some noteworthy highlights. Edoardo Mortara's impressive rise from the back of the grid in his Lamborghini, the resilience that Ferrari showed in the face of tire issues and contact during the race, Toyota's tactical maneuvers in the pit lane that briefly gave them the lead, Heart of Racing's dominance in the GT category, securing pole, fastest lap and victory.
Both.
Double. And multiple penalties for track limit violations, especially for BMW, which hindered their chances. Another one that would fit would be this. I mean, it's nothing new. It's BMW after all. So this race was a brilliant example of proper endurance racing with non-stop actions from the opening lap until we had the checkered flag. And Ferrari's victory under such intense pressure from Toyota makes it a race to remember, at least for us tifosi. So if you are supporting Toyota, I'm sorry, maybe Fuji. And talking about Fuji, so we are this weekend on the 15th of September coming close we're having the second to last race of the season at Fuji Speedway in Japan. So as you've probably seen on social media already, the teams are there and are setting up. So what can you expect from us? I think after the race, maybe let's say like in 2 weeks, we will cover Fuji and then we will move, of course, to the final race of the season. Pano, anything specifically to mention? Like Ferrari winning everything this weekend?
Nothing.
Okay.
Everything is fine. Hoping for a Ferrari. Yeah, hoping for a Ferrari win as well.
I mean, it's Fuji. We can give it to Toyota. Or maybe not. Let's see.
Maybe.
So, I guess we can say see you in 2 weeks then. Have a good one. Bye.